Yesterday was a bad day for the Armenian community. Bad day. I mean, you saw what happened here when you're talking to Tigran. It was not the best day yesterday for the Armenian community. Yesterday, after all the challenges that's been faced with the Armenian community, where Pashinyan, the prime minister, came out and said, you go out there, let's fight this battle. Artsakh, Karabakh is Armenia. And I'm going to go out there and, fight with you till the very end, even if it means my life being on the line. You go out there and fight. So what do people do? People go out there, Armenian fathers and mothers say, we got a prime minister like this that's willing to put his life on the line. Let's go out there and do it. This is his words. We will go till the very end. I'm going to go and die with you. Without Karabakh, there is no Armenia. This is the prime minister saying this.
Prime Minister of Armenia.
So you know what a lot of parents say? Parents say, you know what? Let's send our son to war. And they send their sons to war, and they go to war, and they die. Many innocent, young, 18, 19, 20-year-old sons end up dying because they believed that the prime minister had their back. So what happens? People around the world, Armenians unite. They come together. Right. They raise money. Everybody starts doing
peaceful
charity.
protest.
Peaceful protesting.
In LA.
It was the most
unbelievable.
amazing peaceful protesting taking place. So much awareness bringing to the Armenian community, right? Whether it was the Armenian genocide, momentum was being built potentially for this next term, somebody announcing that this is going on, right? And then yesterday, Putin calls a meeting. They call a meeting with Azerbaijan. They sit down and they have a talk. He does a press conference. And here's what he said yesterday. This is breaking news from Pashinyan. Pashinyan said this yesterday. I'll read this to you, and I'll tell you what this really means to some of the people that are watching this. So they agreed on the following thing. Joint statement, Prime Minister of the Republic of Armenia, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, and President of Russia Federation, Putin. We, the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Aliyev, Prime Minister of the Republic of Armenia, Nikol Pashinyan, and President of Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, announced the following. A full ceasefire and all hostilities in the zone of Nagorno-Karabakh conflict is announced at this specific time. Number two, the Aghdam region and the territories held by Armenian party is Kazakh's region of Republic of Azerbaijan shall be returned to the Azerbaijan party until November 20th, 2020. Along the contact line is Nagorno-Karabakh, and along the Lachen corridor, a peacekeeping contingent of Russian Federation is deployed in the amount of 1960 personnel, small arms, 90 armed. They go through the details. Meaning the 7 villages, the 7 communities, territories that Armenia had in Artsakh is given back to Azerbaijan.
Was that primarily what they were fighting about in this most recent battle?
And by the way, all the lives lost, given back. And he came out and he said, I'm sorry to do this. I feel bad for all the martyrs. I feel bad for everybody that lost their lives. I feel bad for everything that happened. I feel bad for everybody. But I have to do this to protect us because when the dust settles, I will come and tell you the whole story of what really happened. Well, this didn't sit well with the Armenian community. Armenian community is furious. I'm going to show you a video about what happened yesterday. Kai, if you want to pull up that video on what took place, this will shock you what happened yesterday. Here's what it looks like at their parliament.
What are they saying, Pat?
They're breaking, you have to see the whole video on what's going on. We built. He signed that Karabakh is now Azerbaijan's. Look at this. They wanted to pull the guy out and kill him. They've been chasing Pashinyan for a while. No one can find him.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
Real.
You can pause it. You can pause it. Look, I called a few friends yesterday, and I spoke to a couple guys. I talked to one guy that's very, very connected to the Armenian community and the family of what's going on there. And this is the same guy that is a diehard Pashinyan fan. Diehard Pashinyan fan. Oh my gosh, he's a diehard Pashinyan fan. I said, tell me, how you feeling? He says, I have never been this depressed in my life. I said, tell me why. He says, we fought so hard for this. Armenia came together. People put their families on the line. They sent their kids to go fight because they believed in the man that was willing to go to Liberia until we got Artsakh back, Karabakh back. And all of a sudden you decide to do this without talking to any one of us. You just all of a sudden say, yes, here's what you're doing. He called him a coward multiple times. He says the Armenian community sees him. I'm not going to say who this person is because some people may know who he is. He called him a coward. He said this is a very cowardice move. He's on the run now. Everybody's trying to find him. If they find him, it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be a very ugly situation if they find him. And Armenians here all over the world are devastated. Now, at the same time, the one thing that I will say is we were about to do an interview with him. You know, we were in conversation with his head of press. And we went back and forth, and we were going to raise a few $1 million. And, you know, we've already supported, but we're going to raise a few $1 million, $2 to $5 million. And we kept wondering, yes, we'll do the interview. Yes, we'll do the interview. Yes, we'll do the interview. Wait, lest we do the, yeah, well, wait. So he's not in the media, not in the news. And people know how dirty of a guy the Prime Minister of Azerbaijan is. Just yesterday on BBC, you saw the interview yesterday on BBC.
I sent it to clip.
Kai, if you got that, if you want to pull it up, the minute 20 clip of this is the president of Azerbaijan being interviewed on BBC yesterday. If you have it, pull it up. I don't know if you do or not. It's a $1:26 video.
I sent you the link on Instagram.
You have to see the reaction here. Just put BBC.
I don't know if it was yesterday, but it was.
It was the one that's a minute 26.
Texas area.
Let's see how long this thing
freaking
is.
guys everywhere. This Texas area.
These pre-rolls suck.
What compromise they're ready to do. And by the way,
yeah, there's one that's a minute 20. If you can pull this up, go back. You don't have it. Okay. Anyways, I mean,
Kai, it's the video I sent you on IG. I don't know if you have the capability.
Can you pull it up through IG? So go to up top on IG. If he send it to you on IG, go up top to Instagram. You have it right there, Zartong. See if you can do it. You got to see the reaction of this.
So while he's pulling that up,
yeah.
Let me ask you a few questions, set you up for this. Number one, tell us about why this Pashinyan is able to make these decisions unilaterally. I don't know if he consults, you know.
Oh, he did consult. Okay. He did consult with his folks, and they supported him.
So explain why that is, and explain why Americans who don't know about what's going on in Armenia should care about what's going on here.
Well, it's not.
Give the lay of the
it's
land,
not about why they should care, why they should not care. Listen, there's a reason why we have something called human rights, right? Human rights is an event that takes place all over the world, and if you care about human rights, this is an event you ought to follow. You know, if there's an event that takes place in another country that we're following, saying, look what's going on with Venezuela, look what's going on to, it's another event that's taking place. But the challenge is, this guy was loved. Pashinyan was loved. He was adored. People loved him. He was a former journalist for the longest time. The challenge with him, based on a lot of experts I'm speaking to, is he didn't have a military background, and he had never experienced what it meant to be in a very crisis type of a situation. He's going against a pro. He's going against somebody, Elayev, that his family's been in there since 20, 30 years, and he's, you know, coached and mentored by an Erdogan who's a complete crisis management guy and a, you know, tough guy in that community. Authoritarian. Here's the interview yesterday with BBC if you want to play it. $1:46.
Since unlike them, they attacked Ganja with ballistic missiles, deliberately destroying the civilian compound.
Well, let me tell you, Mr. President Aliyev, what our own BBC colleagues have seen. They were in Stepanakert in Nagorno-Karabakh on the 1st, 2nd and 3rd of October. They witnessed random shelling of the town, including at an emergency services centre, an apartment block destroyed. As people tried to flee, there was a drone overhead. Shortly afterwards, more shelling nearby. They characterised it as indiscriminate shelling of a town without clear military targets. Now, this is not hearsay. This was witnessed and filmed by the BBC.
I doubt this witnessing. I doubt it, because it is not...
Well, they were there, President Aliyev.
So what they were there? It doesn't mean anything. That can be fake news. We had military...
And why would that be fake news? Why would any journalist going there decide to broadcast fake news?
Because of the biased approach to the conflict, because of this black propaganda against Azerbaijan in international media.
So you cannot be guilty of any wrong. Everything is false news.
Absolutely.
There is evidence
that
you have used cluster munitions in civilian areas in the streets of Stepanakert, documented extensively by Human Rights Watch, photographs, videos, testimony from witnesses, and they actually had the opportunity to go to the scene. Now, why are you using cluster munitions, which can be so imprecise, in a civilian area?
We are not using them. This is another fake news. It is Armenia who uses cluster bombs.
So everything is fake news?
Of course. Why not? We are facing this fake news for decades.
Why not? I mean, there's not a lot of credibility in saying why not.
If I may, this is the danger of calling everything fake news. Here in America, Trump calls everything fake news. We just had that discussion about how everything is fake news. It can't be trusted. In America today, at least we're a democracy, and at least, you know, in many fashions, we can get past some of this fake news.
Yeah.
In a situation like this, where, believe me, he didn't make up the term fake news. He took that. That's a Trump playbook right there. He's taking that. He's clearly committing some sort of genocide in Armenia. There's war crimes going on. And he's just saying, oh, it's all fake news.
You know,
she basically calls him out and says, so everything's fake news.
Let me tell you why Armenians are so frustrated right now. And you're using that opportunity to take a shot at Trump. But let me tell you why.
Well, he started the fake news.
Let me tell you why this is frustrating for a lot of Armenian families right now. So when in your family, imagine you're 55 years old, you got a 22-year-old son, you got 50 grand in a bank, you own a house, you own a few things. What's the most valuable thing in your life?
Health, family. Peace.
You're 55 years old. You have an 18-year-old son. You have 50 grand in the bank. You have a house. You have a few valuable things in your life. What's the most valuable thing in your life at that time?
Your health and your family.
Is there anything more valuable than your son or your daughter? So you give up your son that you love more than anything in the world to go fight a war. And he never comes back.
Yeah.
And you did it because you believed in somebody that sold you on a vision that it's worth us going out there fighting, that you're willing to risk the life of your son, your child, your baby, right? 18 years you raised this kid. He's with you. You send him up because you believe in what Armenia is going to do. It's a worthy cause. Then you lose him. How do you explain that to a parent?
No,
how do you explain that to a parent? So a parent is sitting there saying, what are you talking about? Because in reality, what people were banking on, of course, behind closed doors, if you want to ask me why I think this took place, Putin's the extreme strategist. The guy's a genius. You mean for a few months, you're just sitting there quietly not saying anything? You're just waiting, and you know you can stop it at any time. Conflict gets very high. He says, no problem. We're going to add an additional military base. We're going to be okay in this situation right here. Let him kind of be done. We'll give that over to Azerbaijan. Our contracts will even go higher. Now, guess who Armenia needs desperately? No matter what they say, they have to listen to them. Guess who? Russia. Putin is a brilliant strategist. He's not necessarily thinking about the Armenian community. He's thinking about the strategist. Guess who Azerbaijan's backed by? Erdogan.
Turkey.
They're totally scored away. They're bigger military. So Azerbaijan, all these years, when they were getting money from oil, guess what they kept buying? More military supply, more military supply, more military supply, getting more advanced. Armenia, prior to Pashinyan, there was a lot of, fraud going on with the money that was going there, right? This guy definitely not. Pashinyan's not a fraud guy. He's a real good guy. He's not a bad guy. Yeah. He just made a bad move.
Just got outmaneuvered.
It's not even outmaneuvered. He made the emotional decision, being afraid, and he should have never said that from his mouth. Listen, words have consequences when you're the prime minister of a country. You can't say certain things and then later on say, guys, I changed my mind. I'm so sorry we lost a lot of people. It's not how life works.
He should have never said what?
He should have never said, I will go die on the front line with you. Dude, what are you doing saying that? I trusted and sent my kids with you.
You're saying he overpromised and
listen, can I add a little something here? Okay. That video of them storming Parliament, I've never seen such passion, commitment, pride. That is not over. All right, they weren't doing that one day and this is over. And it kind of speaks to the fact that I'm sure those people lost brothers, friends, etc. You know, I'm not an expert on this conflict, but I know a lot of Armenians because of Glendale, California, and I go up there to get my glasses fixed. I will drive up there to get my glasses fixed. I know friends that own restaurants and stuff. I would go up there to support them. If I have any tailoring, I go to Glendale. I really, and I saw they had a rally in Manhattan Beach, peaceful. They had one in LA. Here's what I would say about this. When he said that he would die, right? I believe he meant it at the time. Okay, so the one word that you mentioned was Putin. Everything changed with that meeting yesterday. So what else? I mean, were they going to get steamrolled if he didn't do this? Was it about to get really, really bad? And who's the leader if he's in hiding right now? Right? I mean, if they can't find him, who's going to be calling the shots for Armenia while he's hiding out? And here's one last thing. You know, the U.S. should be involved in this in some way. As a world leader, if not sending troops or being involved militarily, they should have a voice on it. But we're so busy fighting amongst ourselves that doesn't even happen. And I'm sure that's what Armenia is looking for, is maybe just someone out there to say that, hey, we got our eye on this and we care. But was there threats from Putin? Because if everything changed that radically off one phone call, don't you think this prime minister, like he said, has information that he wishes he could share that is maybe something that they couldn't handle if he told them?
Russia may be powerful, but Russia also needs Turkey. Russia also relies on them, so they need them to be stable. Armenia is a small little community. It's not a big country. It's a small little country. It's not like it's a very historical community that's been around, obviously, the original Christians. But for them, it's just another piece on the pond. It's like, hey, you know what? It's not as powerful because they have no resources to offer. What does Armenia has to offer as a resource? They don't have oil. They don't have Azerbaijani type of oil. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I will tell you, you got to be very careful when you go out there, declare saying, I'm going to go die on the front lines with you. Don't say that if you're not willing to do it. Do not say something like that because that's a very, very emotional thing.
Right. Do you think there was no way that all that was going to happen is more lives lost with nothing gained? And do you think maybe that's why?
Oh, I'm not taking that away from him. Listen, I'm not sitting there saying I don't know what's going on behind closed doors in a negotiation. He went live yesterday. Immediately when he went live, 200,000 people was on his Facebook Live. Nobody knew where he was at when he went live yesterday. Mario, where are we supposed to fly? Where are we supposed to fly to go do an interview? There. We're supposed to fly to where to go do the interview? Armenia. We're supposed to fly to Armenia to go do the interview and show what's going on over there.
With Pashinyan.
We're supposed to go meet with them.
You should keep pushing it. You never know. He might want to talk.
To do what? At this point. At this point, to do what? And who is he really going to trust anybody to say where he's at physical location? Is he going to say where he's at for us to go meet with him?
So is he in hiding for good? I mean,
no one knows where he's at right now. They're looking for him. No one knows where he's at right now.
And the name of the president of Azerbaijan?
Ilayev.
So back to that video. And believe me, I'm not trying to go at Trump here. But when you, as someone who's Armenian, hear the president of Azerbaijan, Aliyev, say that all the crimes that the BBC is, and I trust the BBC, okay? I know that everyone's fake news these days. I trust the BBC questioning his intentions and the facts that their journalists have seen on the ground. When you hear him say, it's all fake news. Yeah, it's all fake news, fake news, fake news. And you know that's not true. I mean, again, this is not a Trump thing. This is about him. What are your thoughts on that?
I think, do you see how confident he is to be able to say something like that?
Yeah.
Why is he so confident?
I'm asking you.
Well, why is he so confident?
Because he knows that whatever he says, it's not going to be believed by his people.
No. He's confident because he's got backing. Armenia never had backing from nobody.
So if people have your back, you can just lie.
Not you can just lie. You have confidence. See, the mob back in the days, if you ran a small liquor store, they would say what?
Don't worry.
You give us 15, 20%, you're protected. So you would say, you want me to call Vinny? No. I'm so sorry. Hey, Mark, I'm so sorry. I don't know nothing with Vinny. Don't call Vinny. Okay. Then get the hell out of my store. You can talk like that when you have backing. He's got backing.
But
Armenia doesn't have backing.
I understand that.
So to him, he can say anything and get away with it.
Okay, but that's my point.
Yeah.
Just because he says it doesn't mean it's true.
Yeah.
He's clearly lying. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay. So he's lying. He's calling it fake news. As an Armenian, when you hear him clearly lying, are you just like, bro, are you fucking kidding me? Who's this guy? Like, how do you judge? How do you deal with that?
I don't process it that way. I process it that this guy can get away with anything right now because he's got the right backing. They're going to back him up.
It all comes down to backing.
Yes. He's going to get away with it because he has backing.
He has nothing to lose.
He can say whatever he wants. Nothing to lose. He's backed up. He can say whatever he wants to say because he's got backing.
I mean, he practically chuckled when he said fake
he was
news.
smiling. Look at the smirk on his face when he's talking. You could see the smirk on his face. Anyways, look, all I say is the following. If there's any good that came out of this, Armenia Worldwide United, and you saw them being on the same team like never before. And you saw people that were never, I got people reaching out to me, Armenian community from all over the world that are valuetainers, sending me messages saying, hey, I follow this stuff. Let me tell you, we're more united today than ever before. It was great to see the community come together. But now it's going to be very hard for Armenia to trust the next PM. It's going to be very, very hard for the people to trust whatever's going to come out of the mouth of the next PM. So imagine how hard Pashinyan made it on the next PM. Whatever the next PM says, guess what Armenians going to say?
That's what the other guy said.
Oh, that's what the other guy said. Oh, that's what the other guy said. Oh, they all say the same thing. Oh, they all say the same thing. The next guy is going to have a very, very hard job because of what just happened yesterday.